coming at you live from a couple of stools in the low-class studios. This is a feminist and a comedian walk into a bar. I am Justin Golak, and I am a comedian.
Hi, Justin.
What am I sipping on? Thanks for asking.
Who's
Man,
next? Next thing up.
I kept it boring. You know what I mean? Like, I kept it kind of boring. I know. I don't even know if people get mad.
Keeping it boring.
I don't know if people get mad. That's always just what I put on me is people are listening going like, he's doing a fucking beer again.
Yeah, they want cool drink ideas, and you're like,
but we
didn't
promise that. That's not the point of the podcast. We didn't promise that.
I like that you're infusing some realism into this podcast.
What is that? Realism?
Like you're not going to get what you want all the time, listener.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I'm just saying it's not like it's. If it was a mixology podcast and I was always drinking beer, I could see your beef. It was just a little fun thing we do up top.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it could be beer. I could be recommending a beer. I mean, I know I've recommended this a bunch of times, but Tecate Light.
it's just gonna be you for the rest of.
It's just
this
too damn
podcast
hot.
series,
I just need basically a sparkling water with a little booze in it. Tecate Light, refreshing. What do you drink? Well, let me give you the real intro. With me, as always, feminist Jackie Manti.
I was like, did you forget my name?
Feminist Jackie Manti, Mrs. Jackie Golak. What what are you sipping on?
Okay, so I found some. It's Monday Mexican soda. Monday was the name of the guy who founded it in 1902 or '08. I don't know which one is correct, but it's old, and they only make two kinds, right? They make an apple, like a red apple soda, and then this one is like green apple soda. It's fucking delicious. It's like. Because when you hear that, I always think of the green apple.
Have you had the red apple?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I mean, red apple and green apples taste very different.
I know, but it's also
so this tastes like a green apple, basically.
But like a green apple, or does it taste like green apple candy, like that real extra sour?
Well, that's what I was gonna get into.
That's what I was asking. You're like, well, you know the difference. I'm like,
I'm
asking for.
Don't you eat apples?
I'm asking for specific difference in the sodas.
That's what I was gonna get to. So you hear green apple, and I always think of the Jolly Ranchers.
Right.
And, those are way too much. As a soda, It sounded gross. So I was kind of wary of this. But I was reading about it in the grocery aisle, like a fucking nerd. And, I guess the green apple one is really hard to find in the States.
Ooh.
So I was like, ooh, I got to get it. It's, special. It's so good. It tastes more bitter. Or not bitter, but, tart.
You had the other one on before on the show, haven't you?
I think so.
Because it kind of just tastes like sparkling apple juice, if I remember correctly. Can I have a sip?
Mm-hmm.
Interested now. So exclusive.
It's really good. And it's all real sugar. Do you like it?
It's good.
So good.
You're right. It's not overly fake green apple
right.
flavor. It tastes almost like real green apple.
I really like it. It was sort of because it's fall and it's so surreal to watch the leaves falling while I'm sweating my ass off because it's 96 to 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So this is perfect because it's apple picking, fall, autumn, but also
a little refreshing,
super refreshing, and kind of tastes like summer because it's got that appley, but green apple. It's a little more sweet, a little more tart.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Hey, at least it's something you
Thanks,
can drink
Tony's.
this week, unlike last week. You're not just getting little rabbit turds in your mouth.
That was that's just I just feel like that situation was so indicative of my cooking.
That was the most
of me trying.
Jackie
that was
drink
so
in
Jackie.
history.
Yeah.
What did you make that one time? You made this really delicious chicken pasta dish. It was chicken, what do you want? Chicken cutlets with a pasta side.
It was so good.
But then you what did happen? Did the jar just fall, or did you measure wrong? You put too many capers in it.
No, because I knew I liked the capers. So I'm I like a lot of capers. I think I'm just
it was
put the whole jar of capers.
That's how good it could have been, and that it was still kind of good, but it was still just Jesus, this is so
it tasted
capery.
like capers. Yeah.
All right.
I'm so bad at it.
Well, for more info about the podcast and to find out, you can find previous episodes and see all the other drinks we drank. It's a lot of Tecate Light for me, but I do other shit. I got ideas coming up, so don't you worry. You can go to FemComPod.com. That's the landing site. Did you have something to say?
Well, I was going to say, don't you feel like fall is a good time for craft beer exploration?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do think that there's less warm weather beers. There's less lighter beers. Everything's kind of heavy. So
yeah.
That's why I love Revolution does that Rosa. I don't know if I've had that on the podcast yet. That's my favorite summer beer.
Yeah.
That's not just a Tecate or something, because it's light. It's hibiscus. It's super light, super refreshing, and it's a craft beer.
Yeah.
Not a lot of places do that. They'll do like a Pilsner, but it's still like fucking pretty heavy. They'll just like a heavy Pilsner, or they do a wheat beer, but again, it's
Yeah.
like kind of thick. Those wheat beers are kind of
I
thick.
just interviewed a master brewer at
Those saisons that are like sour, but it's just like, I don't know.
she's from a brewery in Toledo, and she was saying she like said exactly what you just said, that like they're trying too hard because it's fun, and like, you know, I feel like they forget the business aspect of it, that some
Yeah.
people just want a light beer. So
Well,
like I think you might be seeing more of that, of people like pushing
21st
to make
Amendment has El Sully, which is really good. It's
Mhm.
like a Mexican style lager, so it kind of tastes like a Tecate or a Modelo or
Yeah.
something like that.
Interesting.
It's good. All right, FemComPod.com. Anything you listen to podcasts on, we're there. iTunes, Stitcher, whatever you got.
Hit the subscribe.
We on. Hit that subscribe. It feels so good for both of us.
It does.
And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, everything else is available where?
lo-class.com.
We got to say it first.
Lowclass.com.
Okay.
Don't
All
forget
right.
the dash.
Don't forget that dash. All right. So, let's go into the first thing. Topic 1, Fat Kanye.
Fat Kanye. Fat
So, according to a couple pictures that have come up online, it looks like Kanye has put on some weight. Kanye West, if you're thinking of it, if you're not sure what Kanye I'm talking about.
And who is this Kanye?
Kanye West has put on some weight, according to these pictures that have come up online. But also, he's wearing a big shirt. The way it looks, everything looks distorted. Like he looks a little squashed. And it just looks just funky enough that I'm not saying it's like a full-on Photoshop, but just slight lens like distortion. Also, he's wearing like a baggy shirt, and like the big thing that makes me think like fake news is like his face just doesn't look chubby.
Oh, so you don't even think like it's a bad angle? You think someone doctored it?
I don't think doctor. Just maybe they were using like a wide-angle lens to get, you know, a wider shot. And then
maybe Kim's behind him.
You know, whatever. And then they were looking at it in post, and they're like, you know, if I just clip him out of this wide angle shot, he kind of looks fat, and I don't know, I can sell it to whatever shit.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not saying he hasn't put on some weight, but I don't think he's as fat.
But it like blew up on the internet.
I wouldn't call him Fat Kanye. I would call him like a little bloated from, you know, having too many burritos
But he just
for one night. Kanye. It's to me, it's like
how old is Kanye?
See, I mean, in his 40s now, maybe
Yeah,
early 40s.
he looks like a good-looking 40-year-old guy.
It's just because his face isn't fat. That makes me think it's like fake news.
I don't think it's.
I just don't think you could put on that much body weight without getting a little face or chubby.
Face chub.
Chub.
Some face chub.
Anyway, so kind of the topic chunk that we're gonna take this with is
Chunk Kanye.
Okay. Well, that goes to the point. So a lot of people have been on Twitter, on whatever. There's been like a bunch of articles that have been like, you know, Kanye got fat. Look what everyone's saying, and they basically been just taking like his like song lyrics or song titles and just punning them into like fat jokes or whatever. And
Like what?
I don't know. I have that article pulled up. I mean, none of them are even like that hilarious. So
I've read one. Like I miss the old.
Father
Kanye,
stretch my pants. That one's kind of funny. 808s and juicy steaks. It's like kind of that's that one. Heartbreaks, juicy steaks. That's not that great. My beautiful dark twisted frappuccino. No more Hardee's in L.A. That one's decent.
These are Jackie jokes. I feel like I'd
La
lots of puns.
la la la. Wait till I fill up my appetite. It's like okay. It's,
oh, that was kind of lame. I thought you were gonna say appetizer plate or something.
No, well, that wouldn't fit the rhyme scheme. All right. So, but anyway, so now in fairness, but not total fairness. Now, ever since, and I would say not in fairness because not only is it not going far enough to seem fair to me, but also, I just feel like everything that comes out has like an immediate contrarian hot take. So to me, I don't even take like an opposing view seriously anymore. It's just someone wanting to get clicks for going the other way. So it's not only that, but I don't like so basically there's already articles out that are like, don't body shame Kanye. You shouldn't body shame Kanye. People are making fun of Kanye and it is not okay. But
okay, gay.
I guess it's to me it's just like it's not about it not being okay. It's not about like that you can't make fun. It's just like if this was a woman, there wouldn't even be an article that started the trend of like this Twitter's making fun of this woman who put on weight. Let's hear these jokes. And then there's a backlash. There would just be an immediate backlash. Like the headline of like, you know, whoever released the picture would be like, looks like blah, blah, blah woman's gotten fat. And immediately it would be like, someone released a picture, says this woman's fat. No, I guess the point is when that happens, the response isn't even don't do it. The response is she's beautiful, or like she can look good at any size. Women can look good at any size. This is, if you even think she's fat, you don't know what a real woman is. Like with Kanye, it was just like, don't make fun of him. But it wasn't anyone saying what you said, like, oh, he doesn't even look fat. Like no one was even saying like, he's still good looking, calm down.
Yeah.
So that's the point. They were just like, don't make fun of him. Which is again like it's an okay stance, but it's like,
why not make fun of him? Because it's body shaming. Basically, you're humiliating him because of his body.
I know, but I'm saying like if
I'm asking you, is that why? Like,
yeah, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
It's like it's mean, it's bullying, whatever buzzwords they use. Bullying,
Oh, yeah.
bullying's
Well,
big. Bullying and body shaming.
They've said like his depression medicine is what made him.
I mean, that's a theory, you know.
Okay, it's not like
I don't think someone.
like, didn't
Yeah, I
come
don't think
out
someone
he
came
didn't,
out.
Like, come out.
No.
I hope he comes out and is like, I'm fat, so what? You know what? I hope he's very Kanye about it.
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll say like, I'm not fat.
I'm Kanye.
He'll probably, I mean, it'll be funny. I'm excited for his new album.
Yeah.
He'll probably have a track called Fat Kanye. No, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, it just seems unfair, right? And I just don't think, like, it just seems unfair that, like, you know, because, like, the big thing is always, like, oh, women, we have these body standards we have to uphold and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that's untrue, but it looks like it's pretty clear that men, at least in the public eye, also have a similar standard. I'm not saying it's all the way the same, because definitely men get away and like men can get older a little easier in the public eye and stuff. I'm not saying it's equal, but I'm saying clearly there's a this, and then once it happens, it seems like there's less positive. All there is like, all right, don't make fun of him, but like none of those articles are saying like, and also if you are reading this, Kanye, you look okay. You know, there's no, or saying like, you know, rappers come in different sizes, you know, we're all the plus size. I don't know. It just, and I know there's been fat rappers, and it's probably harder to be a fat lady rapper than like a fat male rapper.
Right.
Because there's still, so that's what I'm not saying it's equal.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if the,
yeah.
I think once a line is out there, once the line is out there that you shouldn't make fun of someone for putting on weight or for being fat, if that's the line, you should protect all genders. All right, go.
Right. I agree with you. I think that, yeah, Kanye still looks hot, and like she just looks like an older guy. What I was gonna say, the people, all places actually too. That was about Eddie Lacy. Have you heard of him?
That
He's
name
a
sounds
football
really
player.
familiar. Yeah, football player. Yeah.
He did a whole story, like he did an interview about how he was like fat shamed for a long time on Twitter, and like he still gets flack on Twitter. He's like, if I pulled up my like Twitter, like someone will be calling me fat. Like it's always happening, and like he was really honest about how much like it hurt his feelings. Like he's like, that's really shitty, and like I can never. He didn't say that, but like it hurts my feelings basically, and I can't say anything because like that just eggs him on, right? Like you can't say anything, and like. And then he got a contract that like required him to lose weight. He'd only get the money like if he lost weight to, you know, be a fit athlete. But like he was when he put on the weight, he was like recovering from an injury. I just think, yeah, this sort of situation reminds me of, feel like I've told you this story before, but I don't think I've said it on the podcast, but like I loved R.L. Stine as a kid. Like I thought his books were so salacious. Like I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. You know what I mean? Like this was very scandalous stuff for me. And his book, he had a book about this girl who was allowed to make a wish, and she made a wish. She like played basketball, right? And she was bad at it. Or just, you know, rode the bench a lot, wasn't very good. The girls were kind of mean to her because she wasn't very good at basketball. So her wish was like, I want to be the best basketball player on my team. So, okay, she gets her wish. Well, then, like, she's the same level of bad. Everyone else just got lower than her in skill level.
Monkey Paul style.
Yeah, so, like, this reminds me of that, where we're like, don't fat shame women, but so, okay, well, we're still animals, so we're going to fat shame everybody. Like, we're going to do it to the guys, too.
Can I say something? Here's the point I also want to bring up, because I feel like this is going to be a classic FemCom moment where we're all on the same team, and then I say this point, and you're like, God damn it, I'm on the other side of that now. So Here's the old classic fork in the road, FemComPod moment. Pew, 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 fork in the road.
Fork in the road.
So, but I don't know, maybe you'll agree with me. So now, the last major female I remember there being a big kind of to-do about in this kind of realm, maybe there's been one since then because it's been a few years, but I remember Kate Upton. Kate Upton was photographed and some blogger was like circling her hips and was like, look at these hips, she's gross, she's fat, I don't know why anyone thinks she's attractive, like look at this cellulite. And then like some people got on board with it, and then obviously, yeah, like a backlash, like she's gorgeous, like women are also, everything I just said, that's the standard script back. I guess the thing too that annoys me about this Kanye situation is like he's not famous for being good looking. So to me that's kind of like an unfair, you could say it's always unfair to judge someone that way, but it's kind of an unfair barometer to place on him. Like he's like a he's like, you know, multiple hit singles, multiple Grammys. Like he's like an award-winning artist. Put on 15, 20 pounds maybe, judging by the photos. Like who gives a shit? Here you have someone now.
It's yeah.
So you have someone like Kate Upton. Her job is to be hot. She has literally no other job, and as far as I can tell, no other skill set. And so now, if you say she's ugly or you're fat, I mean, you're a dick. You're definitely a dick. But your critique is actually more in the realm of constructive because that's her job. You're doing it in an awful way, and you're definitely a bad person the way this went down, but it's almost more fair in a way. But she gets defended more.
Well, she's part of an industry, right, that is regulating bodies, her body, other bodies. To get into her job, there's a body regulation basically.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like a lot of the anger toward Kanye comes from his like what they see as an objectification of women that he promotes in his rapping, or like I saw
like
a lot,
how does it feel thing.
yeah, or like you only date these like 10 out of 10 women who have like cut up and shaped. Hold on, let me finish. Have like rearranged their body to fit the mold that you think is appropriate. Well, I don't think that's fair to Kanye.
No.
And that's where I think it gets like so thrown off base, because I understand, I totally get that argument, and there is that. I think it's fair to be like, yeah, how does it feel? Like, can we all like stop fucking doing that to each other? Like, I don't necessarily think, I mean, whatever, these people, the trolls, when you write a story about them and how they're trolling him, it just makes it 10 times worse, because then people are like, maybe I'll get in People magazine if I tweet, it's just such a cycle of shit.
But I mean, that's like the only reason I feel like people tweet anymore about current events. They're like, I'll get on a BuzzFeed list.
Oh man, it's so embarrassing. But like, I saw tweets about like his workout plan song, and that song is like the exact opposite of like trying to, I don't know, at least how I listen to it. I think it's it was made in 04. It's like a funny statement of like, yeah, you have to, he was like calling that out, like, you gotta get fit, and like, if you get this fitness plan, you change your whole life. They're feeding you bullshit. That's what that song's about, and it just has a cool ass beat. It's not, he wasn't saying like, get that man you deserve, like you deserve it. It's like he was mocking that industry that tells you to have a certain body type, right? That's why honestly I was kind of disappointed when he picked Kim, because I thought he was so like, which is totally not my right to like
his
decide.
His last girlfriend
right?
was a fucking stripper. That's literally famous for that now.
No. I mean for like having such a like perfect body is what I meant. Like Amber Rose's body, I think, is gorgeous because it's like,
I think they're pretty. They have actually very similar bodies.
I'm not saying that. What I mean is like Kim represents to, I think, our generation of fakeness, right? Like the ultimate fakeness, putting up a fake reality show, and your lips are fake, your whole body's fake, your attitude's fake. So to see him pick someone like her, that was disappointing. Where like Amber Rose, yeah, she's more real. Like,
she's just as fake.
I don't think so.
You think she has blonde hair?
I'm not talking about physicality, Justin. I'm talking about the way Amber Rose presents herself and holds herself and is like, yeah, I'm a stripper.
I know, it's weird that's how she doesn't have another discernible skill set. But like, isn't that the problem? Like, that's the problem, though, right?
She doesn't need another discernible skill set.
She doesn't. But then if people don't like the way you look, like you put yourself out as my looks are the only thing that matters. So why should we? Why should we?
I'm not trying to talk about like Amber Rose. I'm just saying why it was disappointing when he picked Kim.
Yeah. I mean, who'd you want him to date? Like
I don't
Maya
know.
Angelou or something?
I think that Kanye is super smart, and I don't think Kim is smart. So
I just think men at that level, to be perfectly honest, I just think people like that, they're just
yes.
Hey Maya, you want to get
but
together and rhyme stuff together?
There needs to be like Kanya, the like combo name.
I just think men at that level, honestly, have like a good skill set for like aggregating. You know what I mean?
No.
Like he's just like I think it's just like, you know what? I've not only do I have access to the most beautiful women, but I have access to the most talented artists. Like I just go to a after party and there's probably like the best musicians in any genre around me all the time. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to have the most beautiful woman at home, and I'm going to plow her, and I'm going to go out, and I'm just going to talk to the most fascinating people at night. And then, I'll go to the studio, and I'll work with the most talented, co-producers or whatever.
Yeah, no,
like,
that makes sense. Like, she's sort of like a piece of, like, weird modern art.
Yeah. So it almost makes...
like,
I mean, literally, he
like,
is...
talk about objectifying,
I mean,
right?
he's definitely... I definitely know what you mean. Like, on his first album was definitely... like had a lot of like songs and themes about kind of like like black culture and phoniness and like all those kind of like just songs about like just like wanting to present this faux self instead of like dealing with like inner struggle and being proud of that. So I know what you're saying, but I agree that he's also kind of this.
No, I get you.
He wants to be like the next Andy Warhol, and he's dating a can of Campbell's tomato soup.
Yeah.
Like
no, that's
like it is kind of perfect, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it almost makes the most sense.
Totally. No, that's fair. But that Kate Upton comparison is, I don't know. I think that that blogger is a monster.
Oh, he was
right?
a piece of shit. No one's defending him, but I'm just saying, honestly, if you're gonna defend her, you got to defend people like Kanye, man or woman, even more. Like, so, to me, again, even let's just take gender out of it. To me, again, like if it was a woman being attacked, if she was like a woman with many talents or even one good talent, I don't even know why I said many. Just like if she was an author or anything, an actor even, which is like really the bottom level of talent, and at least artistically. But you know what I mean? Like if he did something. I don't know, like I've seen Kerry Washington on she used to be on Real Time a lot, Bill Maher's show before she got Scandal, and she seemed relatively knowledgeable for just a non-politics person about current events, and she's a good actress and she's good looking though, so it would stand to reason that if she put on 20 pounds there could be an article about it. I would feel like more defensive or I don't even know if I'd be defensive because I wouldn't really give a shit, but like I would understand if people came to her defense more because it's like she's more than just her weight. Like I think she could carry a show if she was 20 pounds heavier. I think she could talk politics at a reasonable level if she was 20 pounds overweight. So it's kind of stupid for you to focus on that. Then if a model, which is
so
like...
you should... fat shaming's okay if you're...
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's more okay, meaning that Kanye should have gotten more support than Kate Upton did, and she got the world, and all he got was like, you shouldn't make fun of him. But also after like a good 24 to 48 hours of people making fun of him and like and online sites being like, that's funny, good content.
What do you feel about like Eddie Lacy being body shamed?
See, that's close. That's honestly
player.
Close but it's not looks based. But I have heard, to me though, I have been around friends who make fun of fat athletes, but it's always coming from the place of like usually your weight gain goes in hand with a dip in productivity. So it's like this guy's getting fat is kind of like saying, all right, I don't think this guy cares anymore. I don't think this guy's as committed to like playing anymore. I think this guy's just got signed to a big contract and he doesn't need to produce it. Like it's kind of like a sign of decline. And like you said, like I don't think like that there was a contract for Eddie Lacy with a weight loss requirement because they were fat shaming him. I think they were just kind of like, all right, it seems like you're getting lazy. If you can show us you can drop the weight, that means you're probably working out more, practicing harder, doing the things we need you to do. It's kind of like a sign of activity. So I've heard guys talk about fat male athletes and making fun of them, but it's usually not like, oh, he's so ugly, like the Kanye thing. It's usually like, oh, this guy's getting fat. I bet we're going to see a dip in numbers this year. Someone came into training camp fat. Like, so in that way, I do think, kind of like you said, that's probably the most analogous to like Kate Upton, because it's like that is your job to like not necessarily not be fat, but be in shape, because it's usually kind of usually how in shape you are is how good you're going to be at a sport, because it's very physical activity. So
This conversation reminds me of that ad we saw the other day. That was like a Facebook ad for Fabletics, and they had 4 different. It was just like from the waist down, a shot of 4 different women in 4 different leggings, and it was just like the range of butt types, basically. And like it's just funny because it was they totally were going for like all every shape and size can use our Fabletics fabulous leggings, right? And like you can't go wrong. Everybody's represented there, every skin color, every butt shape, every like we're all there. Of course there's like people are like, why's the fat one got her shirt on? And then that divulges into like why you gotta call her fat? Like all this stuff. Are we done talking about it? Do you think this will like be like
I would say just like, I mean,
over soon, I guess?
to me, I just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I'm pretty. I see both sides. Like to me, it's like if you want to like if someone's in the public eye and something funny happens, and you want to like crack just some jokes on Twitter. I think it's relatively harmless, you know, because like even if you're a public figure, you can avoid that. You can block people. You can just not open the fucking Twitter app. You can just sign on to be like new blah 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 coming this week. Bam, sign off, turn notifications off. Like it's not nice, but I think it's relatively harmless. But then if someone does get mean,
Yeah.
which does happen, you know, the narrative should kind of be consistent. Like, hey, like, you don't need to, their body isn't really, like, that's not really your business. And if you want to crack a
Right.
joke, all right, it's a joke. We can all take a joke. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know why you have so much time in your life to do this. It's pretty sad for you. But if that's what you got to do, get through the day. Hey, working at a liquor store is tough. If you got to crack jokes at a fat celebrity, you know, whatever makes you feel better about your shitty life decisions. Like, that's fine. I get jokes. I think we've all made them on Twitter or in reality. But I don't know. I think just the kind of through line should be like, you can do the joke. If it's a joke, let's try to be a little more thick-skinned and also just a little more like, have a little more levity about it, but also like when it gets mean or it just seems like a pile on, or like these news outlets are like covering it, like it's like ah, it's content.
I think
Like
that's
that's the point. Like
that's what's weird.
it's weird, right? Because when it's on Twitter, it's almost that is almost like a social group. It's like on a mass global scale, but
Yeah.
it's kind of between your followers, which are like your friends, even though that could be millions of people. But when like a multiple online outlets carry it, it's like, oh, this is good content.
Yeah, I
It's
know. It
kinda
sort of
like-
feels like yeah, like you're.
That's when it
you're
feels
like,
like-
you're like students, and you're like sort of like
Yeah, it's
busting
like the
each other's
teachers
balls, right? And the teacher's like,
condoning it.
"Ooh, did you hear? He said
Right,
this." Blah
that's
blah
like
blah.
a super good comparison.
Like, oh, now we can have a teachable moment.
it's just like
too.
that feels like the pile on.
Yeah.
That feels like literally the moment it turns from joking around to a pile on. So it's like that's why I'd say make your jokes, but don't pile on. And also while making your jokes, don't be mean. You know, because I think again, like if this Kate Upton guy, I don't even remember exactly what he said. I just remember it was like real mean and just really like she like saying a lot of things like she's gross, she's disgusting, she's fat. Like using really
Aw.
vile. But if you were just like I don't know. Called her like Kate Chubba-Lupton or something. It'd be like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like at least it's funny. Again, it seems like a waste of time, and it just seems like who gives a shit. But at least it's like kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like it's a joke. It doesn't seem like as mean spirited. So I don't know. That's why I say it's not like it's not like I'm sitting here like people need to defend Kanye. But it's like if that's the line we're taking, like defense of like he can do whatever he wants. Don't be a dick about it. Like gotten that instead of just like saying it's just bad.
Yeah, no,
Like that body shaming is bad.
I think that's fair. It reminds me of when when Donald Trump won the presidency, and Melania, there was like stories about here are Melania's nude photos from when she was a bunny. You know what I mean? And like that made the rounds, and people were like who constantly say, do not stop slut shaming women, right? sharing that story and being like, "What a skank! This is our new first lady. This is so embarrassing." And it's like,
Because I mean, there's
hold on,
yeah.
like it reminds me of the same thing where like you can't like say you don't slut shame and call everyone out for slut shaming and then do the same thing because it's someone you don't like or respect.
It's just people want their narrative, and narrative goes beyond honesty. It goes beyond integrity. It goes beyond uh, anything. Information importance. Like narrative goes above everything. And the thing is, if there's a woman being made fun of, like no one wants to think like, why is someone making? Like I said, like, well, she's a model. Does she deserve any of that? Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. Was it funny? Was it mean? Like, again, I'm saying you could dissect it any way, and maybe the way is it's mean and it's wrong and it's bad. You could go that way, but it's like no one even takes the time to dissect it or just give you the facts. It's immediately like just vultured on by people who are like, like or just vultured on by people that are like, I am a woman who gets clicks off telling women that the world's misogynistic. All right, here's the thing. I could spin this into that, but like the Kanye story, well, it doesn't give me a lot of heat on that topic. So even though it's literally the exact same issue, like it's all narrative over any righteous belief system, any sort of like, truth telling, any sort of just, intellectual fucking curiosity or fucking, I don't know, just curiosity or just,
I mean, that's not true, though. Didn't people then write about how it was body shaming to say that to
They
Kanye?
just said don't do it, though. They just said you shouldn't do it. They didn't say, like, there was no just, like, beautiful, Kanye. Don't, like, there was no, like, of this uplifting. I think it's, again, this thing of, like, just like, well, he's a guy. He can take it. Like, men don't care about their bodies anyways. Like, you shouldn't make fun of him, but he's not... he's not looking in the mirror feeling bad about himself. Men don't care. Like, there's that narrative.
Not even I mean, more than that, I think.
Or even just that he can take it.
That we value men for different things. You know what I mean? Where, like, Kanye doesn't have to look good to me because I think he's brilliant in other capacities. Whereas, like, I can pinpoint my own prejudice. Like, if it was a woman who was, like, gaining weight and she was a singer, I'd be like, well, yeah, but that's part of your thing is that you need to be... like the thing you signed up for, you gotta sort of lose the weight and like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like an entertainment. Fat. I know. I'm not saying it's right.
But she's also really like that's what I always kind of come back to. Like there is a little bit of, you don't want to call something mean fairness because I don't think that's like the right way to put it. But it's like,
I'm just saying culturally, we give men more leeway to be lots of different things.
That's fair, and that's why I said it's not completely equal. But I'm just saying you look at someone like Adele, and it's like, well, why is she famous if she's fat? And honestly, not that great looking in the face, because she's an amazing singer.
I think she's beautiful.
Well, you have to say that.
No, I do.
They take away your woman card if you don't say she's beautiful.
She's so pretty.
I think she wears black a lot, and I think it's probably a mess underneath. So I think just like. But she's a great singer.
That's a terrible. I can't believe you just said that.
She's a.
I mean, like.
What? What do you want me to say?
I just hate when guys who are like not
Can
in
I
a
just
good,
finish my
good
point,
physique make fun of a woman's like. It's probably not good underlay.
But that's my whole. Because it's probably not. I'm just saying, but I wouldn't even care. I'm not being mean. You're saying she's beautiful, and I'm saying I don't think she's good looking. I think that's just disingenuous to say.
For you, for me, I think she's really pretty.
You're not even sexually attracted to women.
So
how are you arguing that my opinion's wrong?
I'm just saying it's your opinion. Like, you should stick to that and remember that. I feel like you say things like that, like it's the fact.
I don't think it's like fact, but I'm just like, I don't. Anyways, the point is, but it's a mess. So I'm just saying, like, but that's the whole point, to me at least, is like there's that big over of why is she famous if she's not good looking? Because apparently, that's the barrier for entry for women if you're not good looking, and it's because she's a great singer. I don't know if she writes her own songs, but I know her songs are very good. She's won awards. Like she could be one of those women that can like. She could probably, sing until she dies, and like she'll have fans or whatever because like the music is so good. But my point is I think there's so many women, men too, but we're talking about women that come into music and it's kind of like, well, they're not a really good singer. They're not a really good dancer. The music is okay, but it's pretty derivative of other pop music. But, oh, man, she's hot. And then it's like, and then when they don't get hot, when they're no longer hot anymore, or they get older or whatever, they kind of get pushed to the side or whatever. And then there's always this talk of like, well, it's unfair. Like, you can't get old as a woman. You don't have a job anymore. It's like, yeah, but you only had that job because you were young and hot, and you rode that. You knowingly rode that. If you would have rode another skill set that didn't depend on age or beauty, you could have kept doing it, but you rode that. So that's why when that went away, your career went away.
You're saying this applies to women who aren't actually skilled or talented?
Yeah, but it happens with men. Again, I'm not saying it's equal. I know that it's harder on women. I think the way you said it is perfect. Like, there's more opportunities to men. But don't you think there are also men, not like Kanye, who are just like, maybe I have a decent voice, but mostly I take off like my shirt in videos and I'm a hot dude. And what happens? Those guys are popular for 2 years, and then a hotter, younger dude comes, and they kind of cycle out because they don't write their own music, they don't produce their own music, they sing mediocre, they maybe dance okay, so they're just replaceable. As long as you're hot, we'll keep you around. Once you're not, then who gives a shit? So I don't think it's like this gendered thing in that way.
Okay.
All right, take us to topic 2.
Okay. Kim Jong fatty fat fat. I love
body shaming.
What was that from? Do people call him that in
people
South
in China,
Korea?
I believe.
China.
We did a story about that.
Yeah. So no fat shaming to Mr. Gout over there, but
Kim Jong Un is beautiful.
He isn't.
He wears a lot of black. Do you think it's a mess under there, or will you not be that mean?
He's just really talented at using words like dotard.
Tell me, do you think it's a mess under there for Kim Jong Un?
I don't want to talk about this.
See, at least I'm honest. At least I'm honest. You know it is. You just won't say
Donald
it. That doesn't
Trump
make you better than
are
me.
in a rhetorical war of words.
Doesn't make you better than me.
Okay,
We
so
can move
Donald Trump is saying that fire and fury. We're just using so many ridiculous, like, I feel like we're on an episode of South Park, but Kim Jong-un was on state TV delivering a message to his people about how, like, a strike is imminent on the U.S., and he called Donald Trump a dotard, which, like, was hilarious, and everyone had to, like, go look up what it meant.
Does it mean doughy retard?
No. But it's pronounced, like, dotard, which I think is hilarious. No, it just means, like, a senile old person, someone who's, like, sort of losing their grounding.
I'm gonna start using it, but no,
they're older.
I'm gonna start using it against people. But
Dotard.
But also know when I say it, I mean
like
doughy retard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's funny. I read the New York Times had only ran it like since 1980, like 10 times. Like used it as a word in articles.
So is it a Korean word?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know how it translated.
I'm just saying, did he say dotard, or did someone
know.
say something and they translated it to dotard?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Probably that. I mean, right? Wouldn't you think? Like,
what did he do?
Because he's
he
talking
made a statement?
to his North Korean populace. So
yeah.
that was like a video.
Gotcha.
So I mean, maybe it was like a state-sponsored translation, and then they sent that to, America. I don't know. I don't know who said it. But
Okay.
but dotard is in our lexicon now.
Yeah.
With coffee.
Kofivi. No, what was it?
How do they pronounce
What was it?
I just say kavi.
No,
Kaviv.
Kovivi. I don't remember now. It's so dumb.
So I just wanted to like check in.
No, it's Kofifi, wasn't it?
It's like VV.
Yeah. I don't think people pronounce the V.
Vivi.
I always hear Kofifi, I think. I don't
Kofifi.
think people pronounce the V.
Oh gosh,
I guess
what
it's a
is
made-up
happening
word.
to our world? So anyway, I just want to like take the temperature of like Trump and how are you scared or like what's?
I'm like, we've talked about this. I think we've like grazed it on the podcast as well. I am loving this Trump presidency for a lot of things. I'm like really digging it.
Why?
Because like he gives the country some just good friction to move against. You know what I mean? Like the joke I made early on that I mean is really based in truth is that the thing I like most about the Trump presidency is now it seems that the country at large disrespects the office of president as much as I always have. Like I don't know, like, to me, now, do I think Barack Obama...
I think it's made me respect it more, and that's why I want to, like, put someone of worth in there, someone of intelligence.
See,
And
I just don't respect it because to me that's where we
no, I get that. You've
that's
said
where
that
we
before.
get into problems. Is it's like to me that was Obama's problem.
I just
It's like
you can respect the presidency and not respect the president.
no, I just don't respect the institution. I think it's silly.
Do you respect any government?
Like power structure is implicit. Like I don't think that's implicit in its design. It's kind of just meant as like an organizing body, and then that body kind of like sucked up and usurped power over time. Like I'm just saying, if you're the president, you're elected, and then you have roles to do. So in those roles, you have power. But in the same way, like, you know, if you run a gas station, and I go there and I want some fucking gas, and they're like, don't say no, I'm not gonna sell you gas. I don't know, like everyone in a role has some power because you're like in that position, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like I think that like Obama. Clearly, I think most people would agree. I'm sure there's plenty of people that won't, but I think it's kind of like I feel like it's like this Adele body thing. It's like clearly you know what I'm about to say is right, but there'll still be people that are just too fucking pigeonholed.
Do not say clearly you know
There's
what I'm about to say is right.
There's still too
this
many
is
people
why-
pigeonholed. Exactly. It's just like the Adele thing. Everyone knows what I'm about to say is right, but there's still people that be like, actually, meh. I think Obama
Don't
was.
say like it's right, like opinion. I think that's what people get upset about. It's like to you it might be on the quote, but like to someone else it's not. And when you say it like you're the fucking authority on it, that's when it is infuriating. What's your fucking thing? What's your thing? What are you gonna say?
I think that Obama's presidency, even though Trump's is much shorter, I think up to this point, and we can extrapolate, Obama's presidency was better than Trump's presidency is and will be. But there's still enough in his presidency that I didn't agree with that got no scrutiny, minimal blowback, and I think he just got a pass because everyone was just like you said, like, well, I respect this guy. He talks well. He seems intelligent, and he did talk well, and he did seem intelligent. And he seemed like a nice guy. Like,
I don't mean like that. I mean like I need to respect it enough to like pay more attention. I think you're misunderstanding what I mean.
I think you're misunderstanding what I mean. Oh no! Is this our first fight as a married couple? I'm kidding. We've had so many fights. But like, no, but you know what I mean? Like, that's my point is like, literally that's what's funny is like, there's this thing about like everyone's like, the big joke is like, oh, there's new Trump news like every day. And it's like, he's the president. There should be new news about what the president's doing every day.
Well, they mean how ridiculous he's being. That's what they mean. Of course, there's always president.
But my point is, how many times, I mean, he is definitely, again, it would be false to say that his and Obama's presidency was exactly the same. But there are things he does that are relatively minor that are just fucking scrutinized to the nth degree. And to my point, I'm just like, good. Like, I'm not saying that as a defense of him. I'm saying like, good. Everything he says should be held under a microscope. Every law he tries to pass, every tweet he makes, every speech he makes to whatever group, you should be like, what does that mean? What is he trying to say? What's the narrative? And I just feel like past presidents, especially popular ones, and especially from their base, get this pass. And like when it's a liberal president, a lot of times the media gives them a pass too. And that's my point. Is like, I think that the news should be on every president. And like, I hope, I mean, to me, what scares me is that we have this kind of like scrutiny of Trump, and it seems like this renewed interest in being involved in the world you live in, the country you live in, and all that shit. But I worry that just like most time, like, you know, there's all these studies that, you know, the country goes conservative and liberal, then back and forth, because basically like you don't get your guy, and then you're like, all right, next time we got to get our guy, and then you get lazy and it goes back and forth. And the other side gets riled up while you get lazy. But so I think it's very possible that in 4 years, you know, 3 years now, 8 at the longest, we'll have another Democratic president. And I hope that what happens is we go, all right, we see how to cover power now. You have to scrutinize it. You have to be vigilant, and you have to question everything he does.
Like
that seems
the
weird.
modern era, right? Like I think journalists have known that for a while, but like there's a lot different. I mean, we have to handle it differently now.
Yeah, I
in
just
the
think
age of
there's
the
no
internet.
excuses. I think with Obama, I think it's been 2 presidents in a row. I think Obama's gotten a lot of pass from the media and the citizens because he seemed nice and smart. And I think Bush got a pass from the media and
Because
the public because of
9/11.
9/11. When we should all being like, this war is a lie. And, like people were like debating that Iraq war like it was like a strategic thing. When it was like, he's lying.
We shouldn't even be
He
there in the first
lied.
place. Right.
Like, this is a war crime. This is bad, bad shit. Like, to me, I just think there's like 3 to 4 things Bush did during his presidency that I think honestly make the idea of someone getting impeached for this Russia thing like laughable. Like, I mean, to me, I think the Iraq war is a straight up war crime. Like, you lied to get into a war, and then you use that lie to overthrow a sovereign nation's leader,
Yeah.
and then kill a bunch of people, and then you have the president after him droning people in countries we're not officially at war with, like
Right.
Yemen, and it's like, and everyone's like, yeah, but terrorism. And I mean, there's a front line about the surveillance state and stuff, but like, I mean, he should have really. I mean, there should have been like, if we're talking about wasting tax dollars on an investigation in this Russia thing, do we not spend look into like criminal charges for the Snowden information leak? I mean, it was big news, but everyone's like, yeah, but look at he's singing, look at him singing, he sings well, he's a nice guy, he probably didn't mean it, and it's like. And the same thing with Bush. That's why I said it's not a liberal or conservative. I don't know. So
yeah, I guess
it was Bush
it's kind of related. I don't know if I can ever say that I like his presidency, but I do feel like it's sort of what you're saying, where I mean, we said this to each other yesterday, where like, can't believe the 2 goofiest motherfuckers on the planet are basically in charge of our safety right now.
versus Trump,
It's
and but
crazy.
It's, I wouldn't stop on the street to watch those 2 fist fight, and now I have to watch their public nuclear war arm dick wagging contest, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you guys just blow each other over with?
I'm like worried about the Putin too. I'm just worried about the like.
He'd watch and jerk off in the corner. He's one of those types. You can tell.
I have 2 things to say. One, no, from like, he wouldn't just walk in a corner. He'd be like behind a wall.
No, he wants you to know you're there, and then he'll dictate.
But like, he's standing and you're on the ground. Yeah.
Slower. Look at him. Tell him he is nothing.
Call him
Slap
fatty fat.
I think he would sit in the corner jerk. He would make Trump top and Un bottom, and he'd make him do kind of like disrespectful things. Fish hook him.
What's a fish hook?
This one, you're fucking a girl from behind.
Oh,
and you grab her
no, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's not in my arsenal, but I know the definition.
So I feel like Trump is. I feel like we're at a family Thanksgiving, and the world is our like guests, right? We're all sitting around a table, and this is Thanksgiving, and Trump and / America have a lot of things they need to get off their chest, and like we all do, right? We're like a fucking family trying to live in space, and it sucks, and like we hurt each other feeling. Okay, America just got wasted on the turkey punch, whatever, and like. So now they're fighting, and when there's like a drunk fight, it's like the truth is out there. You know what I mean? Like all like just dirty laundry aired, all the curtains peeled back on who these people are and what's going on. Like I feel like we're at that moment where like both sides are wasted and they're fighting, and either it's gonna like hit diplomacy and things will move faster than they ever would have if we just diplomacy the whole
stop
time.
In and be like, up guys.
Or just I really don't think America or North Korea want to go to nuclear war. I think that they're going to talk this out. I really do. I think, like you said, this is dick wagging, but like it's terrifying in the meantime. But so there is something to the fact that like, I mean, they could either burn it all down, this Thanksgiving dinner, just burn the whole house down, or like we can just move forward a lot faster than we would have otherwise. But like really risky, But I think that I don't know, what were you gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say now.
Oh, I didn't even say anything.
I know, but you do that.
Because I thought you were done.
No, I just.
Dead air is dead podcast, baby. I'm just trying to fill it. Like a top. Like a
I don't think,
like a
but
Trump
I like.
into a Kim Dong-un.
Kim Dong.
Kim Dong.
I don't think they want to fight. I think North Korea wanted to keep their nuclear weapons. the more that they say, no, we're not compromising, the more the world community is going to bend and say, you can keep it, but like we have to do this on terms where we all say we're not going to use them, right? Like
Yeah, I
North
think
Korea is elevating itself as world power, basically. But I think I just what I really fear from all and like Trump basically saying for laws that anyone who protests in the NFL should be fired, and then the next day more NFL players than ever are taking a knee or
more
like
players killed, and like every organization like issued a statement.
we're
Like
all
we
talking
stand by our
about
players.
it now, like about
That's the thing,
police,
like,
that,
how
which
do you
we
not,
talked about on the last podcast. Okay, so like he's sort of like
he's amazing.
but like he's not amazing.
He's not. He's actually. I hate him.
He's a
I love his
nightmare.
presidency. That's what I want to make clear when I
Okay.
say I love his presidency. Hate him. Love his presidency. Love. I love what this country's turning into. Like, to me, you say he's ruining this country. He's making it
I didn't say
better. I'm not saying you. I guess when I say you a lot of times, I'll say, I don't know. I guess it is hard to differentiate. I meant the royal you of the country. I think like people are saying that what he's doing to our country, he's ruining our country.
Well,
I think the
that's
country
fair on like an international level. We look
Nah.
like someone who doesn't take the world seriously or take our
fuck
role
the
in the
world.
world seriously.
We're fine.
We're losing credibility on a national.
We get that back. We
stage.
get that back in 10 years. My point
Doesn't
is,
it scare you? That scares me.
no, because honestly, when I see, dude, like what do we talk again? We were kind of talking about this morning, and dude, like there's single payer healthcare bill being proposed, backed by a large number of Democrats. Is it going to pass? Probably not. But when have Democrats have had the balls to, like, they didn't have the balls to do that with Obama as the president when he was championing healthcare, and now they're doing it. And you see people protesting, and like I said, like media scrutiny on the office of the executive, and like, like all this shit. Where I'm like, dude, this country is en route to be better than it's ever been. And I hate him as the president, but I love his presidency. But I love this country, and like I love what it's becoming. So I wouldn't even say, if people are going to get mad, be like, how dare you give him credit or his voters credit? I don't. I think just like so many things he does, quote unquote, right, he magoos into it, just off like pure luck, and just the fucking,
Mr. Magoo.
you know, the whatever saying to use. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, or a broken clock is right twice a day. I think he's definitely the broken clock presidency, but I think this is one time that it's striking 12. That, you know, just this mobilization and this.
I think we're all so afraid of what the power that he has, that it's like, well, we also have power, and like united we have power to stand up to certain things, and that's what we're doing.
But that's the point, is like, you are citizens. They are people in positions where they have high level responsibility, but I wouldn't say they have implicit power. So their job, what they're doing, like government officials, like federal government officials, like Congress, like the president, I don't think they have implicit power. They have implicit responsibilities and duties, which give them some sort of standing. But what they do for themselves is try to usurp as much power for them, for that apparatus, as possible. So you always need to be in a struggle with them to be like, give us some power back as citizens. We'll help you. And like, you know, it's like this kind of compromise and struggle, no matter who's. And that's why I think here's what I'll say, because that's a better way to describe feelings on Obama. It's like, I liked his presidency. I liked him as a guy. But he's still the president. I don't care, Democrat, liberal, independent, liberal, conservative,
when
libertarian.
When you have power, you'll abuse it.
Right. And so I think that's what Obama did to screw the citizenry, is that because we were comfortable with him as a man, as like the face of the country, and what do you call it? Like a head of state, since we were comfortable with that, rightly so, he deserved that. But since we were comfortable with that, we're like, he probably doesn't need scrutinized because we like him, so he's probably doing fine. What did he do? Shitty shit. Now, is it because he's a shitty guy? No, it's because he's president, and every president since the beginning of time has done shitty shit.
Can you tell me what you mean by shitty shit?
Like the surveillance state, the droning, the prosecuting of federal drug crimes, even in states where it was legal, because it's still technically a federal crime. Like all these things, you can look at the numbers. He did some things worse than his predecessors that would go against what you consider, liberal values. And I think the reason he got a pass, because they're like, well, it's not like he pass. It's not like people saw that and gave him a pass. I'm saying that people saw him on TV being cool, being fun, being smart, being liberal, like saying liberal things. And they're like, he's probably fine. He's probably not fucking anything up. And I think there's some things he fucked up. And my point is, like, now people don't like this guy. They hate the guy, so they scrutinize his policies. Like, dude, every president is going to try to use power and kind of bend in some way to special interests because that's how they got the money to get there. So you got to every motherfucker. I don't care if you like the guy or agree with him. I don't even vote for the motherfucker. You got to be have scrutiny on every guy because he's in a position.
Hitler was cultured and like loved art.
Yeah,
and
he was a pretty decent painter.
And like, it just seemed like a guy to power.
So that's kind of what I'm saying.
We have to check ourselves too.
So that's what I'm saying is like when you have the president, when you have the fucking, I mean, you could dislike him and you can not respect him. You could think he's just this goon, but he is still the president. So it's still ballsy, even in a democracy, even in a free state. It's still ballsy to take on the president. He's still the president of the United States. And my point is, he makes a speech he's not in front of Congress. He's in front of people in Alabama. He's at a rally, and he just makes this offhand comment about you should fire these guys. Just that comment at a rally. I don't know if it's every owner. It seemed like almost every owner, if not every owner, was like, we respect our players.
We respect their right to do
and then the players who have less money and power than the owners are like, yeah, I'm motherfucking kneeling,
Yeah.
When's the last time you've seen that outright defiance of a president? I mean, to me, that's fucking beautiful. And to me, like, if he inspires that in the populace, hey, man, it's worth 3 years of the shit he ruins because we'll fix that. Because now we have the power to, because we're actually, like, empowered to, like, stand up to whoever comes in next and whoever we vote in for Congress. Like, we need to be doing this to governors, to Congress people, to presidents, regardless of party. And, like, you vote for who you like. Go ahead and vote for who you like. But once they get in,
hold them accountable.
Don't fucking vote party lines. Tell your Democratic fucking senator that if you don't do this shit, I'll vote a Republican. I don't give a shit. You got to do my shit or fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, there is... I
won't vote, like, whatever, I'll abstain. I'll fuck you if you fuck me.
That's as overheard in the Kim Jong-un, Trump, Putin sex dungeon.
Yeah.
I do think there's something where we have to... I feel like we don't really hold people we elect accountable to what they campaigned on, too. Like... Totally. I think that that's something that they won't vote for, because they're in there and they're like, well, now I kind of do what I want. It's like, well, if you electorate voted because they wanted that, they wanted Obamacare over, like, you're basically just a channel for these people. That's what you're.
And that's my point is, like, Obama ran on universal health care and we got, not that. So, but there was just such this fervor from his base about, like, healthcare, Obama, that, like, they just weren't critical enough of it. And that's my point is, like, you should be critical, but you could still be like, this guy, and I'm not saying I want a new guy now, and I'm not saying I might not even vote for him in years, but just know I'm watching, and I don't like this healthcare bill. You promised something different, so, But they're just so, and I get it, because both sides are so polarized. You don't want to, there's this tension where you're like, well, I don't want to be the guy that criticizes Obama, because there's already 50% of the country on the right that's criticizing him every day, but it's like, you gotta. To me, like, that'll...
Well, I think that's what, like, McCain is a really good example of that right now, of, like, going against his, like, well, for example, Graham, who's the other guy? I don't know, the healthcare bill that they just presented, and he's like...
Graham Parker?
He didn't do any of the, like, logistical and, like, structural work that needs to go into something like this that will define, trillions of dollars from the economy going into this. Like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? I think that's ballsy of him to be like, I'm not gonna vote on the party line just because we want to get something through.
And hey, if people are always like, we need to come together as a country, well, the only way we're gonna come together is if we agree. All right, other half of the country, no matter who's president next, we all hate him. Shake. And then we all go vote, but then we're all super critical. And then that's my point. If you want the media, if you're listening, media, no way anyone is. If you want to not be seen as liberal, don't go, like, less hard on conservatives. Go more hard on liberals. Go hard on everybody. You're the fucking media. I want dirt every day. I want counterpoints every day. I want I want fucking shit on these motherfuckers because they're all motherfuckers. Some of them are just more well spoken. Some of them might care about you a scotch more, but they'll still take, while they're hugging you, they'll still fuck you in the ass.
I think one of the greatest lessons from this election has been that we weren't paying attention. Enough
Definitely.
of us, we weren't, and that's what that's why there was so. That's not true. I think there's a lot of shock because our countries were so divided, like regionally. You know what I mean? Like we're just surrounded by people who think like us, and they are too. So like, of course, you don't think it's gonna. You know what I mean? When like we live in one of the biggest cities in the country, and we're like, no way, everybody here's voting for. You know?
I mean, that's how I felt. I mean, just like,
but like paying attention to the president,
Yeah.
paying attention to like what's going on outside of our own. I hate the fucking word bubble, but like all of us, okay, on both sides, on both
on both sides.
on both sides.
I just think like just real quick. I'll just touch on this, and then if you want to say something, but we should move on and close this out. But like, I mean, like I wanted Bernie to win in the primaries,
Yeah.
and I don't really like Hillary. But my point is like when people would ask me like would bring up like maybe this policy like he's never going to get this done or this is kind of unattainable, whatever they bring up. I'm like, I just think he's slightly more genuine. I think he's slightly background, and I think he has a better chance of winning the general. But yeah, I'm ready to vote this motherfucker in and then day one be like, how are you going to pay for this? And are you going to do the shit you said? And if you fuck up, I'm going to be pissed. And if you don't get us out of these fucking wars, I'm going to be pissed. Like, you're still work for me, motherfucker. So it's like, I wasn't one of those Bernie bros, which if I think that's a dumb thing that doesn't even really exist. But if it did,
Bernie Bros.
yeah, but if it did, it would be someone that I do agree is kind of dumb is someone that's like, we're going to vote for him. And then when he gets elected president, we're just going to walk into the woods and just, drink tea and have fun, and I'm sure he'll handle it all because he said he would, so he will. And I think that's kind of like what happened to Obama. And honestly, I think that's kind of what's happening to Trump. People, if there's any supporters of him left, I think that's what they thought. They're like, this guy's going to like drain the swamp. All right, we got him in, bye. And like, I mean, I think that's why he's like losing so much support because I think his quote unquote support that he had at the beginning was just like, all right, he's got it now. And then they weren't ready to kind of hold him accountable. Because my point is, do I want him to do the stuff he said? No. But do you really see any people like really trying to hold him accountable?
Trump?
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I mean, from the right about like that he hasn't built the wall yet, that he hasn't repealed about, like he hasn't
Oh,
done.
well, there are reports that his number of supporters, like people who have supported him, voted for him, supported him when he went into office, has declined drastically.
Well, that's good. And that's my point is like, hey, those people on the right, I'm more liberal than I am conservative probably. And like, I just don't think
Definitely.
I just don't think there's a chance we'll see eye to eye on like on a similar candidate. But I do think there's crossover issues that we can agree on and not. I think there's compromises we can make. I just want to make a compromise and be done with issues. I just want to like close it up and move it on. Like that's what we've talked about, like abortion on this podcast. Like again, can we just make it legal, set a cutoff week, and then it's more like, can this just stop wasting our time debating it? And that's what I want to do. Like, all right, can we make like immigration laws that it's like, all right, you gotta let these dreamers in, but we can put a little more money at the border. All right, can we talk about this in 10 years if we have a problem again? But right now, immigration isn't a net negative. So can we put a couple laws in?
I mean, that's
do
what
the
he's
laws
doing
and
with
just
DACA.
buy,
Like you
buy,
guys need
buy.
to decide.
Yeah. Oh, you like Trump now?
No, I don't.
Got you on board.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
not.
I don't like him either.
But
do you like his presidency at all in the way I describe liking his presidency? Like, I love this. How do you not love a country where every NFL team is saying, fuck this dude? And every NFL player is saying, fuck this dude.
Great.
And not about. I mean, didn't Colin Kaepernick's protest start when Obama was president, right?
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Because
is like,
it's not about the president. It was more just like.
And
that's I think that.
And it shouldn't be. It should be.
I get frustrated
not about
by
who
those
the president is.
I get frustrated by those headlines that are like I mean, I even like shared one today, but it's like they showed Trump. They showed him. Like. No, it's not about Trump. He just sort of like,
the protest
that like
is actually about
the
police.
The protest is about the police and like, the abuse of people of color in this country. Like, that's what it's about. And like, we should be bringing awareness to.
I don't want 4 more years, but I loved this first year, and I'm excited to see what our country becomes over the next 3. And you know what? Hey, I mean, dude, I'll acknowledge the dangers. Like, I don't want to see immigrants who've
Or, like,
never
people
lived.
die.
I don't want to see immigrants
Yeah.
who never lived in another country for more than like a year have to go back there and start. Like, that sounds awful. I want like some sort of like sensible but also pretty open immigration policy. Like, I want like reasonable health care for most of the public, if not all of the public, if it's possible. Like, I want to get out of these fucking war. I don't want. He sent more troops to Afghanistan, right? And now he's starting this new fucking war with the looniest of loons. Like, that shit, I don't want to sit here and act cavalier. Like, that shit doesn't scare me. Like, I don't recognize that there's fucking
Yeah.
bodies on the front lines. But that's what they are. They're bodies on the front lines, and I thank you for your service of dealing with this bullshit, because while you are, I think that the undercurrent of this country is becoming better. And again, for my people on the right and my people more in the center, I'm not pushing you away. I'm not saying it's getting better. It's getting liberal. It's getting more PC. It's getting all those things you're scared of. I'm just saying it's getting more. Let's get together, and that's one thing we should be able to get. That's one thing that this purple country should be, right? The red and the blue should be coming together to all turn towards the office of the president and being like, fuck this fucking guy. Do the shit I want, or fuck you, and do good shit, or fuck you.
I feel like people are saying
It should
that
be
already.
aggressive.
I don't know.
They're saying it because they don't like the dude. It's the office, and at least he's bringing shame to the office.
That's
that I hope
people
is
voted for him. Is they were saying exactly what you just said. Fuck you, do what I want.
But just but the other side, they were like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like the guy. I'm saying you should be saying that to the fucking office itself, so that whoever the fuck comes in, you're like, fuck you.
Oh jeez.
All right. Topic 3, baby.
That's a great way to start the relationship.
We're running long, but this is our fun topic. Let's plow it through quick. So Jackie Manti is a bad person. How do I know she's a bad person? Because she doesn't like popsicles.
Oh.
Who doesn't
I
like
was like,
them?
what's he gonna say?
Not even one? Like, not even...
I don't. I'm not a popsicle gal. You know what? The only popsicles I like are those like orange creamsicle ones with like the creamy center. Those are good.
Oh, so it's like popsicle on the outside, white
yeah,
in the
but
middle?
it's like creamy. Yeah, fake
Do you like
ice
it?
cream
You
in
like
the
the
center.
Do you like? They have ones that are like a popsicle outside
Yeah.
with cream in the middle, and they have ones that are more like a sherbety outside.
Sherbety. Yeah.
Because I remember you didn't tell me this for a while, did you? Because I thought I'd always have popsicles, and I'd be like,
"Do you want?" I didn't tell you. I didn't like hide
you
this
hid
deep
it.
dark secret from you. It's more I just hadn't defined my dislike of popsicles yet.
It seemed treacherous. Because I feel like our whole dating life, I'd be like, "You want a popsicle?" You'd be like, "No, I'm okay." And then like I remember I was like, kind of, because I don't like, the only flavor I don't like is blue, and I have those Popeyes.
I
so
like
was
blue ones. Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, do you want these blue ones? I don't eat them, so I'll save the blue ones for you." And you were just like, "I don't really like popsicles,
I
so I
just
probably
don't
won't
really
eat
eat
them."
them. Like I don't really eat them. I'm not ever like I want a popsicle because
So,
I'd rather just drink juice or something.
no, but it's so cold, and it's like you get to also
I don't
eat it,
know, it
and
makes
it's
my teeth
fun.
hurt.
Oh, you're so
I'm
lame.
like 55-year-old
So,
woman.
all right. So this gets to the topic. We've had record heat
Oh my god,
in
it's been
Chicago,
so
like
hot.
literally record. I feel like record gets thrown around
Do you know
like
why?
it's just an
They
adjective.
said it's Hurricane Jose, right?
Yeah, because it's a spicy Latino hurricane
No.
or Latino hurricane. Is that why it's so hot?
Oh, Jose is here.
Hola, Estados Unidos. Here's a heat wave from me, Jose. Oh, sorry, did I knock down your house? I'm just so spicy. I'm very windy. I'm very windy. My mom said it's very windy. I say I'm a windy boy. Oh, are you so hot though?
He helped you eat popsicles for an extra week.
I didn't need that. I'm Fat Kanye. I should just wear my Yeezys on Halloween and just be like, I'm Fat Kanye.
Yeah, I'm Fat Kanye. What's up? That's funny. Yeah, just a black shirt, some black jeans, and
Yeah,
your
it's like-
Yeezys.
Yeah, people be like, what are you? Like, I'm Fat Kanye.
Fat Kanye. Yeah,
hold
what's
on.
your question?
Oh, the question is, so we have record. It was funny. I was just saying, like, it is funny. Like, I feel like people throw on record like an adjective. Like, but
No,
with,
it was like record.
but it's
breaking
literally
heat,
we
though.
broke records. I feel like
Yeah.
people say like record breaking, like it's record breaking cold
The
out, and
hottest,
it's like
one of the September days last week, like the hottest it had been was like 94 degrees.
I think
and
we
hit
broke.
like
I think
100
3
or
days in a
something.
row we broke a
Ah,
record.
yikes.
I think it was like last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or something. We broke
It
the record
has
each day.
sucked. It sucks. Like I'm so over it. It's like
Yeah.
a stuffy.
You know
heat.
what? But the only reason why it sucks is that I love hot weather. I don't mind the 90s. You know why it sucks? Because it's fall. We couldn't go to the pool. The pool's closed.
Yeah.
Like all the cool summer stuff that you can
right.
use to cool down is done. There's no fun. Like we were gonna go see a movie because you sit in the cold air. There's really no good movies out.
Right.
And the ones that are, remember, we're like gonna go see it, and I was like, to be honest, I can't see it when it's 90 degrees out.
Yeah, like when you walk outside after seeing this like scary movie.
Yeah, I need
you're
because
sweating.
I don't really like horror movies, but something happens to me end of September into October.
Oh, where it's so good.
Where I want to see them. I end up seeing like 3 or 4, and then once November comes, I'm like, I don't care anymore.
That's why they put it out now.
No, it works perfect. There's that eeriness when it's a little chilly.
And
that chill in the air.
You walk outside, you go to a dusk movie, and it's like dark.
But it's like you get a physical chill from the weather that mimics like the chill of fear, and then you're kind of like, it just adds this atmosphere.
And you're like walking.
And then
car.
I mean, there's this,
and you see the wind blowing the leaves. Yeah,
and it's Halloween. Obviously, that's the most obvious, and so there's kind of like little black cats and spiders everywhere. So there's this aura.
I just feel even that physical act of like holding yourself because you're cold is like, I gotta protect myself. What's going on?
So there was no good movies to see, and the ones that were good are too
they
folly.
Were good ones, but it was too,
the pool's closed. Like you could go to the beach, I guess, in Chicago, but it just like everything's pumpkin spice. Nothing's like watermelon flavor. Like I said, like just every menu you go to, like there's no warm weather drinks anymore. Everyone's on Oktoberfest heavy beer,
squash.
Everyone's like soup of the day is like
which is
chili
wonderful,
instead
but
of
it's just
gazpacho.
weird. It's kind of weird. Yeah,
that's why I'm saying that's the only reason why I'm over 90, because I think I've gone on record many times saying I could live somewhere where it's 90 all the time, but I want to live in Texas where it's 90 all the time, but everything's air conditioned to 20 degrees. Pools are open year round. Like I went to Panama, which they're like an what would be the word, equatorial climate. So they don't have like summer winter, they have like rainy dry. So it's always super hot. It's like a rainforest in Panama. Like
sounds
it's like
awful.
But the thing is, you don't notice it. First of all, it's skinny enough that you get a good breeze from the ocean because like everything's kind of coastal because it's so skinny. But more so, it's every restaurant you get blazing cold. Every bar you go to blazing cold. Everyone dresses like really cool. Like cool weather food, like cool weather activity. Like everything's set up for it being hot all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're literally living in like a city where this time the whole city's set up for it to be 50, and it's not. That's what's making it just miserable.
Yeah.
So anyways, also I'm not looking to pay. Usually this is the month where my electric bill drops like $45, and we're not going to get that because we're not going to run the AC. So all right, man, this topic already went on way longer than it was supposed to, but I don't care, man. We're having fun talking about summer. So you don't like popsicles. You're a bad person. But what is your favorite warm weather treat?
Yeah, my favorite when I was a kid were those Flintstone push-up pops.
Yeah.
Like the push
so you
pads.
like orange sherbet
good.
as well.
I like the sherbet. I also love when we go to the pool and we get those little, what are they called, where they're like strawberry shortcake on the outside,
yeah,
but like the chocolatey Claire one.
They have the chocolate eclair and the
with
strawberry
the little
shortcake.
crummy stuff. Oh, that's so good.
The strawberry shortcake ones are really good.
That's probably my adult choice. I think those are so good. And because we only eat them in the summer. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such a summer treat.
I think that I like sherbet stuff too because I do find fruitier things more, a little more refreshing. I'll do some vanilla and some chocolate, but really if it's like a warm day, I like some good fruity flavors.
Yeah.
So popsicles, I love popsicles. I love pop ice. I'll just plow through like 5 of those. But also like, if you're talking like the ice cream truck or the ice cream cart, I like the things
Which is fascinating.
I like the character faces. It's like a character face, and it usually has bubblegum eyes.
With a droopy eye.
No, they get the bubblegum eyeballs.
I know, but they're always like weirdly placed.
Yeah, they get moved around, but that bubblegum is always gross. I just toss it. Ever since I was until 8, it was cool, and then after that, until like an adult, I'm like, toss that bubblegum. It's gross ass bubblegum. It's like frozen gross ass bubblegum. But I love because it's like a sherbety, like it's all different colors,
it's
but
a
it all
kind of consistency, right?
It's all different colors, but it all tastes cherry.
But
no, it's like sherbety. It's a little more dense, but I don't know. It's like a sherbety, fruity. It's always cherry flavored, even though it's different colors. So, Ninja Turtle, I want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
That's your go-to.
But a lot of times I'll have like Sonic, or I've seen like Mickey, or.
It is funny to see you ask a grown man to dig into his bike pack and see if he's got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I want it.
Face.
Do you have Donatello? Oh, you're all so down. I like those. I like popsicles. I think sundaes stink and are super overrated. I think what's underrated is milkshakes. I like a nice chocolate milkshake.
Sundaes are one of those treats where they're popular because adults like them. I love them now, but not as a kid.
No,
and like I feel like as a kid, it was always like, we're gonna get a sundae. And like that was like what was like promoted on like
Toppings
Dairy
are
Queen.
too
But
much.
oh, I
Just
love it. It's so good.
so much. I like a milkshake. Why worry about stuff melting on your hands? Just put it in a cup
I
and
get
just
that,
sip
but
it.
like here's the thing.
Ice cream you can sip. It's the future.
Here's the difference though, Justin. You can't eat fresh fruit. But like that's the difference. It's like
This is
so
not fresh fruit on Sundays.
hell yeah there is. They put sliced banana and fucking pineapple on it. What Sundays is you eating?
That's the grossest Sunday I've
so
ever.
good.
You always gross stuff up with it.
That's
like taking
not
it
gross.
too healthy.
That is like that is
Pineapples and bananas on what kind of ice cream?
Justin, that is called a sundae. A banana split?
Well, banana
like,
split.
Come on.
But they don't use real pineapples. There is a real banana, but they use like that fake pineapple chutney
It's
and like
delicious.
it's like too much fruit.
Anyway.
I do like a waffle cone sometimes though. I
Yeah.
like cookies and cream ice cream is good. But dude, I've had cookies and cream shakes. If you have a place that does their shakes with fresh
Ooh.
ice cream, get a cookies and cream shake. God
Where
damn.
we had that. We had the red velvet milkshake one time. Like red velvet cake milkshake.
Yeah, it was that
so
steak and
good.
shake. All right, I'm getting hungry now.
I
All right, let's
know.
close this out. Is that all you have to say on topic
Hell
3?
yeah.
All right. So this has been a feminist and comedian walk into a bar. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Justin Golak. You can find me at justingolak.com. But usurping all that news. This week, this Friday, September
Yeah.
29th, American Apathy.
Your
Ten-
favorite dotard.
10-track album, hour-long special, all at, you know where it is, lowclass.com, lo-class.com for free. Watch it, listen to it.
Guys,
Both-
it's so good.
Both versions are a little bit different, so watch one at home and then listen to the other one in the car.
Yeah.
Throw it through your Bluetooth or however you listen
I
to
love
music.
the audio. Can I just like plug the audio one? I
Don't
think
give
you-
away.
Okay.
the
Secret.
concept.
Okay.
I don't know why I've been keeping it secret. I just want people to listen
No,
to
it's
it without
cool.
bias.
Yeah.
Because I feel once you describe it, you'll never be able to describe it to do it justice. So people will just go in with an expectation. That'll ruin it. So it's not like a secret. It's just I don't want expectations.
Fair enough.
But go ahead and say why you
It's
love
really
it.
good.
Oh, okay. Were you going to describe
spoiler.
it? Did
It's
I
gonna
ruin
be a
it?
total spoiler. I just think it's cool. I think it shows your artistic range.
We can talk
too.
about it next week
Yeah.
when it's out there.
And check out JackieManty.com.
Hold on,
I
I'm
will
not
do.
done.
I'm
Oh,
going to do an
okay.
interview with Justin about his new album and
Yeah.
all of that.
We might do a special interview podcast that'll
It's-
go up on.
Don't worry, it's still about you.
Yeah, we might do an interview podcast that's about the special and about stand up where Jackie interviews me for like a special guest set
Yeah.
safe space version. So jgsspod.com. That's my solo
We talk
podcast.
about like dating a comic.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, that's boring. Just talk. I don't know. Figure out. You know, you're the interviewer.
I know. That's why.
Have you ever
we talk
interviewed me?
about
You've
whatever
always
we
interviewed.
want.
You like used to. You know, used to be a journalist and used to interview people. Have you
Yeah.
ever interviewed me?
No.
Yeah, just do it like you were in
That
a
would
writing.
be unethical.
Okay, but I'm saying do it like you were writing a piece about me. I want the full Jackie Manty treatment, and I want the fake nods like you're listening too.
Ah. Totally.
Yes, I want lots of totallys. So look for interviews, written and broadcast. But most importantly, just look for lowclass.com, lo-class.com. September 29th. Free 10-track album, hour-long special.
That's
Go
awesome.
there, do that. At Justin Golak on Twitter, and I think that's it. What else do I usually plug? Oh, Justin at justingolak.com. If you have long-form messages, shoot them there. And what else should you shoot there? Them dick pics. Let me send them dicks, boys. Get them swanging. All right, Jackie Manty at JackieManty.com, at Jackie_Manty on Twitter, and Jackie at JackieManty.com. Tits. Send them tit pics
We'll
to
take-
Jackie.
I'll take your tit
She
pics,
wants to see
please.
them. She
I
doesn't care
think
if it's a mess under there.
I think you're all fucking beautiful. Fuck this guy.
I think for some of you it's a mess under there.
Justin,
But I'm
you're
into
a
it.
mess under there.
I know. That's why I'm not sending tit pics.
Kanye West, please send me your tit pics.
Is that a fat Kanye
Yeah.
joke? Nice. Body shaming. You're
I
bad.
know. Yeah, check out my site, JackieManty.com. I'll have that interview with Justin. I've also got some new content up there, some like cool albums that I've been listening to, and like Halloween costume ideas, slutty Halloween costume ideas based on your birth date. Lots of couples ideas in there too. Some good stuff. Yeah, and as always, mildlydepressed.com. See some of my art and decidedly less funny attempts at writing.
And mildly depressed.
Mildly depressed, yes.
Hence the name. All right.
The
Well, this has
tone's a little different.
been a feminist and a comedian walking into a bar. FemComPod.com. Stitcher, iTunes, wherever, everywhere. Those are just the big ones, so we name them by
Yeah.
name, but we're fucking everywhere. Give us a subscribe. You won't regret it. And
We're like Obama's surveillance system. We're everywhere.
okay. So lowclass.com, lo-class.com, album and everything else. That's your go-to one-stop shop. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.